What's the most shocking thing you've overheard about yourself in a language you secretly knew? I moved into a new neighborhood with my two kids, Angela and Justin, aged 6 and 8, about 6 months ago. On my first day there, I was greeted by my neighbor Tom. He was energetic, good with kids, and such a fast talker that when he told me he was Spanish, I didn't even get the chance to tell him I knew the language. Either way, my kids loved him, and after a few months, he was already babysitting them every time I went to work. The first red flag, however, showed up when he began making unsolicited parental suggestions. He'd tell me when to put them to sleep, what medicine to give them, what food to feed them. When I kindly asked him to stop, he said, "I'm sorry, you know I'm infertile, and I almost see these kids as my own. Imagine you weren't able to have kids. You'd be doing what I am too." I felt sorry for him, and because it wasn't like he was a danger to the kids, I kept letting him babysit. But then I started noticing him start to turn my kids against me. At first it was subtle. "Tom lets us play and doesn't make us have nap time," Angela told me. "Yeah, he gives us chocolate before we eat," Justin added. At the time, I thought it was just Tom trying to seem fun, but then my kids' comments became more manipulative and disturbing. They'd say, "Tom said he'd be a better dad than you are a mom. Tom told us to listen to him and not you. Tom said he wants to be our dad but can't because of you." I felt my blood run cold. I wanted to run to his house and lay it all out, but my kids loved him, so I had to do something different. Fast forward to this past weekend. I invited him over with the intention of talking civilly and setting clear boundaries, and even went as far as preparing dinner and cleaning the house to make the environment as welcoming as possible. I never planned to tell my kids Tom was coming, but they overheard me talking about it while they were supposed to be sleeping. They got so excited, and when the day came, they kept telling me not to ruin it or make Tom angry at us. As soon as Tom walked in, he kneeled down to hug my kids as they ran up to him. He spent a whole minute making funny faces with them, but then he stood up, and as soon as our eyes met, I felt his energy shift. I invited him to come sit down at the dinner table, but he declined, asking if he could sit on the couch instead so the kids could sit on his lap. I told him the conversation I needed to have with him wasn't appropriate for Angela and Justin. He smiled and said that's nonsense, sarcastically asking me what kind of mother would force their kids to their room. He then looked at them and asked if they wanted to stay here. "Uncle Tom's right," Angela yelled. "We want to stay with him." I felt myself breaking. I wanted to just put my foot down and yell, but I couldn't, because every time I tried, Tom would steer the conversation in a way that used my own kids against me. We ended up just watching a cartoon the kids loved, and the whole time, Tom would just flash this creepy smile at me almost as if he had won. I remember it's while that was going on that he got a phone call. He stopped ruffling Justin's hair and excused himself to the hallway and picked up. I couldn't hear it too well at first, but I recognized that he was speaking Spanish. He still didn't know I spoke it, and when I heard him sarcastically mention the kids, my blood ran cold. I stood up and casually made my way over to the sink, pretending to get a glass of water, and because the door separating the kitchen and the hallway was closed, I subtly pressed my ear against it and listened in further. What I heard made my body shake and my legs go jelly. Tom was on the phone with his friend, sarcastically mocking me and mentioning how well his plan was going. He said, "Just a few more months before they're mine." He then laughed. "I've already turned them against her. Now I just have to do something to one of them and frame her. Before she knows it, CPS will be at her door, taking her kids away for neglect. And guess who they'll want to be taken in by? That's right, me, and only me." I wanted to throw up. And to make matters worse, that's not all he said. Children are so easy to manipulate. Just offer them a surprise, say you're disappointed in them if they don't comply, and they'll tell you anything you want. I went back to the couch, face pale and fists clenched. My thoughts raced at 1,000,000 miles per hour, and when Tom came back out a minute later, smiling like nothing was wrong, I smiled back, because I had thought of something. And when he comes home from work tomorrow, he's gonna get the surprise of a lifetime. The full story is on the channel.